the government as Apple Store. Is that even something that should be a goal for the federal government? What do they mean?
That was one of my favorite parts of the interview. Like you, Joe, that hasn't worked so well for me at the Genius Bar, but I do love my Apple products. So, I think the reality here is that there have been long attempts to take what is happening in the private sector and move them into the public sector. We saw this, for instance, with Robert McNamara way back in the day, taking what he did at Ford and moving it into the government during during Kennedy and Johnson's administrations. But the reality is that it takes somebody, to Wendy's point, who understands the difference between the public and the private sector. And so on so many levels, the approach they've taken so far with this, chainsaw cut and then look back and try to correct has not worked. And it doesn't work in the public sector.
Well, I want to focus more on the man, Elon Musk himself, Rick, because just since we've been on the air in the last 20 minutes, we've gotten news pertaining to multiple parts of his business. A headline just crossed the terminal that NASA has just awarded a launch services contract for SpaceX's Starship. Just before that, Musk announced that XAI is acquiring X, another one of his businesses. We can check Tesla any day of the week and see how that is performing. He has other things that are tied to him here. How much longer can he realistically keep this effort up?
I think forever. I mean,
before it starts weighing dramatically on businesses that have boards of directors.
How in the world does this guy have all this time to do this? And oh, by the way, he set some record for gaming in one continuous. I don't think he sleeps. He's an extraordinary individual. He's clearly brighter than the average individual. He's accomplished more in a short lifetime than almost anybody else that we know in the last 50 years. And so I think you have to give him some credit for being able to manage all these things in a way and create them out of almost whole cloth. Whole industries like the space industry didn't exist until he tackled it himself. And so can he accomplish these tasks in government like he has accomplished them in the private sector? I think it's a very good thing to have private sector people inside of government and trying to find ways of improving it. I would love government to be like an Apple Store. I think everyone deserves that. We pay our taxes, and when we look at it ourselves in the mirror, we can't really see very many things we get for that, right?
Well, yeah.
The global security envelope, except every night we watch the news and somebody's killing somebody. So, I think it's very good optics for Elon Musk and the DOGE team to put on suits, which they don't wear in the Oval Office, but they wear on Fox, and they talk about what they're doing. They should do that more often. Yeah. It would sort of, allow people to determine whether what they're doing is worth all the effort and attention that we're giving it.
Talking about the timeline here, as you bring up, Kailey, how much time does he have left? Maybe we're almost there. In this interview, Musk laid out his timeline for DOGE to complete the cuts that he mentioned in federal spending. Listen.
A 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services. I think we will have accomplished most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion within that time frame.
So in that time frame, 130 days.
130 days, Jeanne. That brings us to May 29 if he's working weekends. Is that the off-ramp here? Did Elon Musk just tell us when he's leaving Washington?
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be, unless he is held over. But the reality is there is going to be a point at which we are able to judge. Number one, did he really save this much money? And number two, did he make the government deliver and be more effective? Everybody would welcome that. But the reality is so much of what he said last night just doesn't ring true. For instance, the idea that nobody's been fired. Well, we know that is simply not the case. And by the way, on the gaming, the scuttlebutt is he's not actually playing those games. I don't know a lot about it.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, thank you, Kailey.
All right, I'm not going to mess with that one, whatever he's doing on his phone. Just quickly, Rick, on what's happening on other phones. We're ending this week, having begun it with the start of Signal Gate. We haven't seen that much talk about it today. Does that mean the administration has successfully spun the news cycle away from it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the backfill I'm getting is Israel has complained bitterly about it because the individual that was named in the in the email or the text chain was an Israeli intelligence officer. And so they are offended that we would not take better care of secrets that they have shared with us. That's how they found out where the individual was, to be able to facilitate the attack. So I think within the security community, this is still a very hot topic. And I think the administration is trying to figure out how to manage it. But I don't think we've seen the end of this story. And I still believe that someone is going to have to take the responsibility for this, and I can't imagine their future in the administration would be very long.